I think.
كم جاد من فضل.
Yep. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, everyone. Welcome back again on the weekly agenda called WTT. And for friends who have never watched our videos before, WTT stands for Weekend Tech Talk. So we will discuss a lot about the technology that we learned here. And today we will discuss Flutter. More precisely, we will discuss it various widgets. This discussion will be really interesting because we have a special guest, a special speaker, and we will introduce more information about it later. Before we get into the discussion, I want to introduce myself first. And hello, my name is Zaki Lazordi. I'm in 11th grade. And for friends who are watching and who want to chat me for further, you can check on my IG called ZLS. And then we have a super duper special guest or special speaker. His name is Maulana Moreno Ibrahim, and you call him Moreno. And please, Moreno, continue the introduction.
Okay, Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name's Maulana Morin Ibrahim. I am a student from IDN Boarding School, and right now I'm same like Jackie. I'm in 11th grade, majoring software engineering. So yeah, today in this WTT or Weekend Tech Talk, I would like to share to you guys the about how to make or how to use widgets using Flutter. So Flutter is basically a quick introduction. Flutter is basically a platform to develop apps that can be on multiple devices, like for or multiple devices. For example, like in on iOS phones or on Android phones or like on desktop on Windows, it can it can have the responsiveness for every type of device. So that is why a lot of people in the world are using Flutter right now. And so in this video, I want to show you guys on how to use the widgets inside Flutter. So
Okay, thank you, Moreno. Yeah, thank you, Moreno. And okay, so that a little introduction about me and our special speaker, which is Moreno. And for friends who listen at home or who listen on the road, hopefully always given blessings and health. Don't forget to subscribe to our school channel. If you are looking for a useful channel, you are in the right video right now. Just click on the channel below and click the subscribe button. Don't forget to also share this video so that all your friends or maybe your cousin or your family know what are we the widget on Flutter. Okay, Bismillah. Let's start the tutorial. Okay, Moreno, and have your time.
okay, thank you very much, Zaki, for the opening and for letting me to have my time. First thing, we're just gonna go straight into opening VS Code, which is where which is a platform where we will code our widgets. So here it is. This is what it will look like after you download or open a new Flutter project on VS Code. So yeah, so before this, for those who hasn't installed Flutter yet, you should install it on the official Flutter website. And yeah, after installing it, to create a new Flutter project on VS Code, all you need to do is to click Control Shift P, and then yeah, just type in Flutter new project. So at the very top over here. All right. So that's how you create a new project. So after you click that, you just need to select where you want to put what directory you want to put in, which files, which folders you want to put your Flutter project in, and then yeah, this is what it will look like after installing or downloading a new Flutter project. So yeah, it's quite long. And first thing first, maybe you guys should delete all of these comments over here because it's quite distracting and we don't really need it right now. So you can just delete it with Control X or escape or backspace. So yeah, all of these comments is just explain. It's just some explanation on every piece or every line of the code. But yeah, but I'm gonna explain it anyway, so we don't really need it. This one is fine. Okay, so basically all you need. Oh yeah, don't forget to also delete all of this. The classes, my homepage and my homepage state. We don't read it. We don't need it right now because we're gonna make our own. So just delete all of that. And let this. If there's an error, just let it be for now. So yeah, this basically the first page or the main page of a Flutter application, or it's called the main dot dart. So in the main dot dart is where you will run the application using this line of code, which is run app constantly my application. And then this is a variable that calls this class. So the class is called my app, and in this line of code is calling the class of my app. So inside of the class with the my app class, so it will it is a place where you will start your application, for example, on your phone or on the emulator in your laptop or in your PC. So yeah, there's a title, theme, also the home. So yeah, this will change constantly by the class that or by the widget that we're going to make. So first thing first, to create a widget or to create a class, you need to type in STL. STL stands for Flutter Stateless Widget. There's also STF, which is Flutter Stateful Widget. But these two is quite similar, but it has a significant significant difference in between the both. So stateless widget is basically a widget that doesn't have animation, basically, and stateful widget is a widget that has animation. So, but for now, we're just gonna use stateless widget because it's more simpler than stateful. So yeah, after typing in STL and enter, you will get these lines of codes. And first thing first you want to do is to rename the class and the class. So first we're gonna try and make my text. So first thing first, we're gonna learn how to create a text widget in Flutter. Yeah, and then after renaming it to my text, we're gonna go down here to widget build and inside of it return const placeholder, and we're gonna rename this placeholder to become scaffold. And don't forget to delete the const as well. This one, delete that as well, and rename all of this to become scaffold. A short explanation. So scaffold is basically the foundation of every page inside of an app. So it's the equivalent to a frame inside inside the Figma application. So this is the foundation of every page inside of an app. So after typing in return scaffold, you click enter inside of the inside of the circle, and then inside of the scaffold, you need to type in body. So in every scaffold, in every frame, there will be a body and there will also be app bars and stuff like that. But the main component, the most important component inside of a scaffold is the body. And in this body, this is where you can get creative. You can add in a column, a text, or whatever. There's many types of widget. So the type is body, type is widget, and the primary content of the scaffold. So body is the most important component or the most important content inside of the scaffold class or the scaffold widget. Yeah, since in this class is called my text, so we're gonna try to make a text inside of the scaffold. So all you need to do is to type in text, and then it will automatically gives you a circle which you can put the text inside of said circle. And then if you try running it in your emulator or on your device, like on your phone, it will show a white screen with a text on it. We're gonna show right now by running without by trying to run the application through the emulator. So first I'm gonna select my emulator, and then what are you doing? And then I'm gonna try to run the Flutter application. It's gonna take a little while. Okay, never mind. We're not gonna show the preview on the emulator because it's having difficulty right now, technical difficulties. But we're gonna continue on how to make uh, a text inside or the text widget inside of Flutter. So yeah, so inside there's actually a lot of stuff before you should add the text widget inside of the body. Like for example, there's also a column widget. So a column widget is basically a widget that allows you to have many widgets inside of the column. So before, if we just type in text inside of the body like that, you can only put in one amount of text. So we cannot multiply them like this. It's not possible. So the best way to do this, is by adding a column first. So inside of the body, you should add a column. And of course, a column by its name is gonna add the widget inside vertically. So stacking from top to bottom, not from left to right. Yeah, so inside of the column, like this. And you can, inside of the column, you can add a children. So this is where you put all of your widgets inside of the column, because if you put it outside of the column, it won't work and it will error. And you should add the children first and then add in the different types of widget inside of the children. So for example, you can add a text, you can also add an image, or for example, a row. So you can add a lot inside of a column. All right. And wait a minute. Okay, so we're gonna try editing or styling the text. But before that, we should also edit the column as well. So in a column, there's a argument that you can align the column itself into the middle with using main axis alignment dot center. So this line of code will actually put the column itself into the middle of the screen. I mean, in the middle of the screen, I mean in the middle horizontally, not vertically. And yeah, And then we're going to continue trying to style the text. So first you should have the input first for the text. For example, hello, this is a text. So that's what it will show. And then for styling it, all you need to do is to type in style, inside of the circle. Yeah, like this. You just need to type in style. And inside of this style, you can edit a lot of things. But first, you should add text style first. So like this. Now, inside of this text style widget, you can add a lot of things. You can edit a lot of component from the text. For example, you can edit the font size. For example, you want to be 15 or however big or however small. You can also edit the font weight or the thickness of the font. For example, you want it to be bold or you want it to be W500, like so. Oh yeah, don't forget to add the font weight as well. Font weight, bold. Yeah, you can make your text bold, thin, light, or whatever you want. You can also change the color of your text. For example, color to become blue. Yeah, so you can edit a lot of things by using the text style widget inside of the text widget. But sadly, the emulator, so I cannot show you the result because my emulator is having some difficulty right now. But yeah, at least you can try this at home, write it yourself in your own project of Flutter application and see if it will work or not. It will most definitely work. Notification of error right now. Oh yeah, don't forget to change the home cons into my text because this whole STL or stateless widget is called my text. So the home is calling my text. So whenever you run an application, the first thing that's going to show up is this stateless widget page right here, the my text stateless widget. All right. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna explore some more. So other than text, you can also add other types of widgets. For example, container. Yeah, container. Container is also important because it's basically is a space where you put stuff inside, like some text. So before adding a text, you should add a container and then a text inside of container. So there's like a background for the text, but it's fine. We're just gonna make another one anyway. So container, you can edit a lot of stuff. Like for example, the width and the height. So maybe width, you can change it to 70, height 70. And also you can also change the color of the background to maybe yellow. Yeah, so you can edit a lot of things. And in the preview of the emulator, it should show a small square with the size of 70 times 70 because we set the width and the height values right here. So like a small square in the emulator that has the color yellow as its background. And you can add a lot of things inside a container. For example, you can add a child, but actually never mind, it's fine. You can add a container, and if you duplicate this container, don't forget, like that, it will show three yellow boxes aligned from top to bottom. So a long yellow box from top to bottom. And since there's no any space between those boxes, you can add the code size box, and then height however you want, how many you want, for example, like 20, like so. Yeah, so by adding these codes, the size box code, between each container, it will add a gap between each container. So it will have a gap with the value of like 20 pixels. And if, for example, the container is, or this body is actually a row, and the layout is from left to right, so it's sideways. If the container is inside a row, so that means the size box should be, instead of height, it should be width. Sorry, not weight. Because for height, it controls the gap between up and down, and width controls the gap between left and right. So yeah, that's how to use size box and container inside of a widget. And there's actually a lot more. Now we're gonna try and explore how to use maybe images. So yeah, we're gonna learn how to use images. So for images, all you need to do is to type in image, and there's different types of image widgets in Flutter. So the first is asset, file, and memory, and also network. So image asset is used to find the image from the asset file inside of your Flutter project. Instead, if Flutter image file, so basically the image is trying to find the file inside of the folder app inside of your phone. And another one is actually almost the same, which is image memory, and this one is trying to find the image file inside of the Photos application in your phone. Now we're gonna just try and use image network. And for network, the difference is that image network finds the image from the internet. So by just going to the internet, to Google, and finding an image and right-clicking it and click copy image address, and then paste it inside of the circle, like HTTP whatever. If you add the link inside of that circle, it will show the image with the exact same size from its original file inside of your application or inside of your emulator or your device. So that's how you use image network and others like image asset, image files. Yeah, that's the difference between all of the image widgets and how to use them. But sadly, again, my emulator is not working because there's some internet issues, or maybe some internal technical difficulties. So I cannot show the preview right now, but inshallah it will work if you try the exact same code inside of your project. Well, okay, maybe another thing that we can learn is grid view. So yeah, so if we try to edit this or try to create another one, so yeah, to try and find out what the grid view widget is, first we need to create a new stateless widget. So STL enter, then change it to my grid view. Yeah, my grid view. And don't forget to delete the cons inside of return and change the placeholder into scaffold. All right, this one. And then inside of the scaffold circle, don't forget to also add a body. So yeah, so the most basic or first steps on how to create a widget is to STL, again, to STL enter, rename your widget to my whatever, and then delete the cons inside of the override widget build. So next to the return, delete it. Actually, it depends if you want to delete the cons or not, because the function of the cons inside of the widget build is actually, if it depends if you want to have something that moves or something that transforms inside of the scaffold, like for example a container or a text that changes, you should delete the cons. But if it's the content of inside of the scaffold, let me rename this to make it clear. Yeah, so the inside of the content, for example, if inside of the content, inside of the body, there's a text, and it's just this is text. So if the text is static and it's not changing or anything along the running of the application, you should add a cons, because the function of a cons is actually to minimize the size of the applications of the widget. So it also depends on when to use cons or when to use cons or when to delete it, because yeah, cons will minimalize the size of your application, which automatically makes it more smaller and better for users to use it. So it's not a big application to use. So, but for this grid view, we should delete it because it will change every now and then. So return scaffold body, and then you type in grid view. Okay, so inside of grid view, there's a grid delegate attribute or argument. And inside for the grid delegate, you should first add a sliver grid delegate with fixed cross axis count. So you just type in sliver and then choose the fixed one. And what this is for, so this basically tells the amount of grid to the left, or like horizontally, how many grid or how many items in a grid can fit horizontally. So for example, if we enter this to make it more clear, okay, for example, the cross axis count, maybe 3 or 5. So in a grid, there's 5 items to the left or from right to left. And you can also edit other things as well, like for example, cross axis spacing, the space between each item inside of the grid. For example, you want 10 pixels. And you can also edit the main axis. So yeah, you can edit the spacing from between the items, from the top item and the bottom item. How many space do you want, like 10 pixel or 15, whatever, however you want. And you can also add a child aspect ratio. So basically it is an argument to stretch or to fit the item itself. So for example, the item is a container. If we add child aspect ratio to 0.1 or 0.7, it will make it longer. But if it's like more, like 1.7, it will make it stretch to be a little bit smaller, you know. But you don't really need that right now. And there's also main axis extend. Yeah, main axis extend is basically the same like child, like the one before. But the 3 main arguments inside of a grid view or grid delegate, the sliver grid delegate with fixed cross-axis count, is these 3: cross-axis count, cross-axis spacing, and main axis spacing. So cross-axis again is the amount of items inside of a grid view. Cross-axis spacing is the space from right to left, and main axis is the space from top to bottom. Yeah, so hold on a sec. Yeah, so yeah, basically that's probably gonna be it for all of the widgets that we're gonna showcase or that I'm gonna showcase in this weekend tech talk. So rewind again. We learned how to use text, how to use the basics on how to start to create a widget by typing in STL and then deleting the cons and renaming the placeholder to scaffold, and then inside the scaffold we have a body, and then yeah, all of those, and how to use the text widget, how to use children, how to use column, how to edit the column to become in the center of the screen using main axis alignment, how to create a container with editing its width, height, and the color of the container itself, and how to space multiple container inside of a column using size box, even if it's horizontally or vertically. We can edit the size or the space between using size box, and how to use my grid view. So yeah, that's basically it for today's weekend tech talk. I hope it's useful for all of you guys. And sorry again for the technical difficulties, like my emulator not showing the preview. I'm supposed to show like the result of each widgets in like an emulator on a screen, but yeah, because there's some technical difficulty, maybe like some internet issues or whatever, it didn't show, and it failed to connect. So yeah, so that's I want to say sorry on my behalf for that part. But yeah, maybe the rest on how to type it, on how to the syntax of how to create the widgets, how to style the widgets like the text, the container. I hope it's useful and it increase the knowledge for you guys on how to create stuff or widgets inside Flutter using Dart language. So yeah, that's probably it. Thank you very much for listening. I'm gonna give it back to our host Zakil Azwardi.
Wow, mashallah. So we can create an applications or even website with one code. Moreno has discussed how to create a new Flutter project in VS Code. What is main.dart? What is the difference between stateless and stateful widgets? What is scaffold? Use column instead of copying the text repeatedly. How to make it to the center, and many more. And that friends can practice in their latest project. And please forgive us, there was a little technical error, maybe from the internet or a bug from the emulator. So when friends run the emulator, sometimes you will get bugs error. So your emu is instantly not running, and that's normal. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, Moreno, once again for the warm tutorial. Inshallah, we will end this video because we think it's enough. Hopefully, this is really useful for friends. And friends who want to chat further with our speaker, you can visit his Insta account called moreno.ibrahim, IBRHM. And for friends who have watched until the end, thank you very much. May friends always be in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And let us end this Wednesday or weekend tech talk with Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. And maybe that's all from us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
فضله قبل السؤال وكم أعطى